Thank you very much for joining, guys. Appreciate we started a little bit early, so thanks for jumping on. Today, I'm joined by Jörg Vogel, guest speaker from Christie Partners. Jörg, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello to everyone. Sorry. So I'm from Germany. So Grau Data is the manufacturer of Blocky for Veaam. We do the channel model for them, and any channel contact. So we're developing here, and including our best distributor, of course, Titan, is David on the microphone. There you go.
Thanks, Jörg. Okay.
So let me see.
Perfect. Just by way of a quick agenda, guys, this really should be a relatively short webinar session this morning. I'll just give a quick introduction to Titan for those of you who don't know who we are. Jörg will run you through the Blocky for Veaam proposition. And we'll go through obviously why you should become a Blocky for Veaam reseller. What are the key takeaways and what you need to know, and then we'll finish with a Q&A and some calls to action. So Titan is a specialist distributor. We offer end-to-end data management solutions and cybersecurity services. We work very closely with our vendors and technology partners to help store, manage, and secure your customers' data. We can help with everything from compute, hyper-converge, software-defined. Jörg, could you click through to the next slide, please? So,
yeah.
Thank you. This is our, I guess, vendor map, for want of a better word. So you can see everywhere we can be of assistance. Everything from compute, hyper-converge, software-defined, enterprise storage, all the way through to backup and archive and video workflow. Cybersecurity services, all designed really to help deliver SOC standard services directly to your end customer. And we have many different professional services available. I won't dwell on that too much. Obviously, today we're talking about Blocky. It's purely for reference. Next slide, please, Jörg.
Okay.
And I'd like to hand over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you, David. I'm happy to present Blocky for Veaam. So I think quite a number of people might have heard about it within your organization, but hopefully there are new people who want to understand what the Blocky is all about. And we're protecting the customers against ransomware attacks, very simple stuff. And Blocky for Veaam, it's in the name, Veaam. We're protecting Veaam environments, and everyone is aware. Yeah, so today cyber attacks are something common, and it's in the news everywhere. One of the biggest ones, I think, was Kaseya, with in the Nordics, the Co-op group having to shut down all their supermarkets for a couple of days, and no revenues and nothing. And just want to explain what the ransomware problem in a simple way, so customer may understand. You may take the slides later on and have that with your customers, because I think it's still not known everywhere what the subject really is. And if you look at it, we have firewall and antivirus. They're blocking everything except the stuff that comes through. And any email click could be a new threat in some way and passing through firewall and antivirus. So if that happens, your live systems are under attack. And the live systems, well, that's one thing, but you only have one chance to return if the live systems are encrypted. You go for your backup, yeah, and you backup. Whoops! If the backup is encrypted as well, then you're in deep something. Yeah, and so the backup volumes as such, we want to protect those, and say, so how can we have another firewall to say you always can restore safely and quick with a 1, 2, 3 rule. You hopefully have all your customers protected in a way that they have a secondary site where they back up the data to, and hopefully an offsite location. But in case of a ransomware attack, you might have an issue in restoring your applications quickly, because you want to go back to your live systems and say, okay, what's the number one? We are infected here. I have a safe backup. How do I get back quickly? So your first backup, your Veaam backup on your local repository server drive is the one that saves your life. Yeah. So what do we do with application whitelisting and Blocky for Veaam? It is quite a simple process. There's a fingerprint check that says only authorized applications can access my backup volume. It's a drive E, drive F on your repository server. Very simple. We have Veaam backup repository server, and whoever is allowed, that's the Veaam application, can write or modify or delete. And for any other application, we're blocking this out. We're saying no to any application that's not on the whitelist. And that's a very simple process. It looks simple, but the challenge here is that you don't have too many false positives. Because false positives means you're alerted when there's no real good reason for that. And what Blocky for Veaam does, in difference to Windows security, there's a safe way to implement this firewall for your backup, kind of, and not having any trouble with false positive messages, notifications, and stuff like that. I'll explain in a minute. Okay. And yeah, so what do we protect? We protect the local volumes, the Windows volumes on your Veaam repository server. So NTFS, ReFS volumes. We cannot protect NAS systems that are attached as a NAS volume. But if you have a QNAP and stuff like that, and have it connected via iSCSI and presented as NTFS or ReFS volumes, we can, of course, we can protect that as well. We're supporting all Veaam versions, and we're supporting Windows Server up to 2022, the latest one. Yeah. So just a quick overview about what's Blocky doing actually. So it starts with a simple login. So what's being installed on a server is a small module that just protects, that installs a filter driver on the Veaam repository server and says, I'm going to control the access to the Windows volumes, E and F, or whatever you want to protect. Yeah, and this is the GUI where it starts. It starts with a separate password. It's independent from Windows Administrator or Windows Security, and it's also protected against brute force. So, and the GUI as such of Blocky for Veaam is straightforward. This is actually all you get. So it is, the main thing is we're protecting this drive E here, and we're protecting specific folders. Yeah, the backup and the VB catalog. And as you can see, we have a list of trusted applications. We have an online monitoring of who's accessing these drive E folders, and you have a logging as well. Yeah. So because if you start a Veaam process, saying Veaam backup process or so, it goes to your Blocky E backup, and then it goes in some of these folders below, or it goes in others, but this is your Veaam repository. And for these normal files you see in your Explorer, Windows Explorer, it's impossible to delete or edit any file. And if you try to do that, then you need a permission to perform this action. You get a 1 or 2 minutes timeout in Windows, and then it disappears. And you get a notification via email that says, hey, someone has tried with unauthorized access, which could be the Windows Explorer, for example. So as you can see, we have in more detail, we have the protected folders. That's the key thing. And the protected folders, you can do that just, I can explain right now, as we can say, yes, there's Windows security, and with Defender and everything, I can have controlled folders and I can have application whitelisting. It's just, it doesn't work in the way you wanted it, because Windows, for example, by default authorizes Windows Explorer to go to your drive E or drive F on your repository server. So that means any simple malware can use the Explorer to delete or modify files and stuff. So it's not that easy. And also the Windows will add its own apps to the allowed apps, to the whitelisted apps. So with Windows security on your own, you don't have a controlled environment as you want it. So that's why Blocky for Veaam exists. It's a very simple and smart solution that allows you to add protection without any hassle, without any false positive notifications and stuff. And in the list of the trusted applications, you can see, okay, I have to enter my Veaam executables. Also, the DLLs are protected that are connected with these exe files. And so the whole chain. And if for some reason you do an update for Veaam, for example, or you do a larger Windows update, some of these exe or DLLs might be replaced. So you have a red Veaam agent.exe, for example, and you have to re-establish the fingerprint, which is a hash thing, technology thing that says, okay, this is an authorized application, a trusted application. You can do automatic whitelisting. You can enter these applications on your own. And in case something happens, like a license expires, but the main one is, of course, unauthorized access. And if you have unauthorized access, you get notified in the monitoring area, and the monitoring, and also in the Windows logs. And the unauthorized access, of course, is notified to whomever, the admin and the contact that's implemented here. And as you can see, the logging has all the details. If you start a Veaam backup process, it will run. This job will run, but everything is logged, and you can see who's doing what on your drive E. And then there's an option to say, okay, within Blocky, for larger customers, I can have a local system protected, but also have several servers in the same GUI and manage them from one central GUI. It's for larger customers that have branch offices or stuff, or many servers for backup servers and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. So protecting these drivees with the trusted applications, which are only Veaam and nothing else. And that's the technical background. And we have global management with the central admin and the GUI for several repository servers. And then we have a central license management coming early next year. If you have any questions, David, you can put everything into the question and answers if you want, and to the monitor. So the more interesting point then after technology is, so how do you price that, and how do you sell that? And it's straightforward. It's subscription-based pricing, and it's 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. And we have entry licenses which start at 25 terabytes for protect one volume. You can have an additional volume, or you have 50 terabytes with one volume. That's all the entry stuff. And then for enterprises, larger enterprises, you may have 2 servers. So there's a small fee for each server, like £600 for each server. And then if you want to protect 100 terabyte, this is then the sum of the volume sizes that you want to protect. If you have a drive E, F, or G on one server, and these are 3 volumes, this is 30 terabyte each, then you need a license for 100 terabyte and 1 server license. So it would be then 5,100 pounds for 3 years. And so enterprise license is the cumulative capacity of the volumes. You have a small fee for the repository server and no limits on number of volumes. So just as an example, you have a reseller purchasing price and a list price. And the small difference there is your margin. And it's always 33% margin for you. So it's some fun selling Blocky for Veaam. And I think with that attractive margins, you can go out and say, look, we have a tool that is really simple to install. It's in minutes rather than hours, and it's no maintenance. The only time you have maintenance on it if you do a Veaam upgrade or you have a larger Windows update, then you may need to update the whitelist entries, which is a 1 minute task. And that's all. And it's a safe way to protect your environment without any hassle. That's the main point. And no admin specific knowledge and stuff like that. Okay. So if I could turn back to you, David, is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jörg. So yeah, as Jörg says, if you do have any questions, please whack them in the Q&A. We can get to them in the next few minutes. We will of course send you a nice PDF, just more for reference to kind of give you the 10 kind of reasons why you should become a Blocky reseller. But really, I just wanted to highlight a few key takeaways we'd like you to take from today's session. Blocky really is one of the very few solutions that provides immutable protection for your customers' Veaam backups. Obviously, more and more customers are being targeted. Veaam is such a huge install base. You know, there's a lot of business to go after. You can use it as a new business driver to target Veaam users, especially around renewals. You know, if their incumbent Veaam partners aren't necessarily working with Blocky or aren't promoting and recommending, then they are obviously doing them a disservice. Obviously, it's a SaaS solution, so it's recurring revenue for you guys. It is perpetual licensing, so if customers buy for 1 year, when that expires, they can simply buy again. So far to date, everyone that we've sold Blocky to has always renewed. I think it's one of those things that's once it's on, it's protecting. Why would you turn that off? Installation is quick and easy. You know, this it's a horrible analogy, but it really is like Ronseal. It does exactly what it says on the tin. You know, once it's installed, it does provide complete protection against ransomware for the backup volumes. We had a very good case study a couple of months ago with Northern Trains. They were actually hit with a ransomware attack. They were targeting the credit card information of the ticketing machines. They had a 250 terabytes worth of Windows volumes. After the attack, we deployed Blocky for Veaam literally within a matter of days, and it was Veaam that recommended Blocky to them. So Veaam are recognizing that Blocky is a great add-on sale to enhance protection for their product. So like I say, it is gaining more and more traction now, and I think really the purpose of this webinar is to get some breadth, let you recognize the opportunity to go after new business, targeting your own Veaam customers, very healthy margins and reoccurring revenue. Next slide, please, Jörg.
Okay. And
yeah, I think it's key to just to recognize, you know, this is not blacklisting. It's not like a traditional antivirus that you would be accustomed to in security solutions. You know, this is advanced application fingerprint technology that's unique to Blocky. You know, and it really does help and to trigger that immutability for Veaam backups. We will send you this full list as by way of reference. Don't want to obviously bog you down and read all of these out to you on a webinar. I think if we can click onto the next slide, please, Jörg. Move into the Q&A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. First one there. So, is there anything we need to do to become a reseller? So.
It's a straightforward one, right? So, but the intention of the product and everything we do in terms of channel development is that it's as simple as possible. So we are flexible. You know, if you need a special quote, if you have anything you want to do, you can do. It's just get familiar with the little tool, install it as admin in your test environment, in your whomever, yeah, with your technician. At home, and then you get familiar with it. That's all. So no conditions, nothing, except that you establish business with Titan. Yeah, David. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, we will help you with sales enablement, with marketing tools, collateral you can use on your website, or any blogs or anything you want to post out. The only slight, I guess, from a certification point of view, obviously, if you have in-house engineers that you want to do your own installations for your customer, offering it out as your own PS, we'd just like a short session to train your engineers, just so they can fully understand the installation process. But yeah, I mean, it's additional revenue for you guys, charging out as professional services. I have another question there, Jörg. How long does it take to install Blocky and for volumes to be protected?
Yeah, I would say it's typically it's a half an hour task or so. Of course, you want to discuss other items with your customer, and so such a session, if you say, okay, I'm going to install something in your Veaam environment on your repository server, things come up, and you look to the environment. But basically, it's a small 15 megabytes file you install as admin, and it takes you. You need to install the configure the notifications, and then maybe install a license. And that's basically it. So in half an hour, you're done. Yeah.
Great stuff. And just one around, I think this is to do with the enterprise licensing. So sorry, I'm just reading that. With enterprise licensing, if the customer has multiple volumes for 100 terabyte, can the keys be split multiple times?
Yeah, so we're shipping. So with the new license management in January, the customer can actually distribute the keys and the license keys on his own. But the current we're shipping, if you have if you have a larger customer who has 500 terabytes or so on 2 servers and 4 volumes, it's just that you can have this license key installed on the repository server in the GUI. And that's all you need to do. So it's per volume, you install a license key, and that's all. So.
Fantastic. So our last one here. How is Blocky for Veaam supported in the UK? Yeah, so first thing, for end customers, we always offer, because that's on the website as well, so you can always contact support@growdata.com. Yeah, so that's the easiest way. For an end customer, if he says, I don't feel safe, I don't want to have 10,000 other contacts or so, they can go directly to Grow Data Support. That's an option. But typically, they would go back to you as a reseller and say, can you help me, and so on. And for reseller support, if you have any questions, we take care. Blocky for Veaam team, yeah, we are always prepared to help resellers and ask and answer any questions. They can go back to you, David, if you want it, but of course, sure, you can do everything to us directly. We take care. We have one technician explicitly on Blocky for Veaam that takes care of the reseller business. So for resellers, come back to us. For an end user, they typically come back to you anyway. But we have very rare instances where issues occur, actually, so that's fine. By the way, for the ones for the community, if you are not only Veaam partner but also have IBM Spectrum Protect customers, there's a Blocky for TSM released that you could sell as well. So it's the same sales model, it's the same licensing, it's everything the same. TSM is a little bit more, IBM Spectrum Protect is a little bit more complicated in the setup stuff, but it's now fully qualified, so we can protect IBM Spectrum Protect environments as well, if you have customers like that. Okay. Fantastic. Unless there's any more, I don't have any more questions in the chat. Yeah, if we can flick over to the final slide, please, Jörg.
Yeah.
Thank you. Firstly, just want to say thank you for everyone that's attended today. As promised, we will be doing a prize draw shortly after this session closes. One of you will win £200 worth of Amazon vouchers. So treat yourself on Blocky and Titan.
That's fantastic.
As we've just mentioned, obviously, in terms of kind of selling and becoming a Blocky for Veaam reseller, if you haven't so already, please do sign up for a credit account with Titan. You can do so by contacting solutions@titandatasolutions.com. And obviously, we will take any requests of registrations to be a Blocky for Veaam partner. As literally just discussed, if you would like to start reselling Blocky for Veaam, we will provide full support for sales enablement, marketing tools, technical training to get you on your way.
Yeah. By the way, we could mention that there's no deal registration anymore, except if you have special deals. If you want to protect a very large customer opportunity or so, and you can always ask us for a special price and stuff if the situation requires it, and if you have special pricing requests or special requests and protecting very large deals, then just notify us and we do everything to protect that. Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah, and finally, just to let you know, as a further thank you for attending, Blocky will give £50 vouchers for every order placed by the end of the year. So we still have plenty of time, although Christmas will be here before we know it. We have plenty of time to get these orders in. From experience, the sales cycle is very, very quick. When you're speaking to a Veaam partner and they're not currently protected, or looking at ways to make their backups immutable and provide further protection, it is a very quick and easy add-on sale. As you saw, a 1 year 25 terabyte license, £990 list price. You know, it's next to nothing for the protection it can give them. So please do contact Titan and myself with any inquiries. Happy to register anyone that's not yet registered for a Blocky for Veaam partner. Good luck and happy selling, and hopefully we'll see some orders for the end of the year. So thank you very much for your time today, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you all, and thank you, David.
Thanks, Jörg.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.